This video is to demonstrate what we call edge stitching. So edge stitching is essentially a type of top stitching, but it more specifically specifies that you have to be within 1/8 of an inch of the edge, often a folded edge of the fabric. Sometimes it's also very close to a seam line as well. So we took a look at jeans when we were talking about top stitching in the other video, and you can see that there's lots of top stitching on these jeans, the classic denim gold top stitching that we see on most of our jeans. So an edge stitch is specifically these stitches that stick really close to our folded edge. So you can see the edge stitches on the waistband and on the pocket edge as well. Now I would consider this inner edge, where you actually fold your pocket in here, to be more of a regular top stitch, and then this one that just reinforces that crisp edge to be an edge stitch. So you really can define it in a couple of ways. So if I were wanting to do an edge stitch and be within 1/8 of an inch of a folded edge or seam line, that might be a little bit challenging when you first look at the throat plate of your machine and you notice that you have measurements here for 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 3/4, and then 1 inch. And you go, where's the 1/8 of an inch? On home machines, we have more markings and more measurements, more lines to follow. Also on home machines, we often can move our needle position so that we can move the needle over to one side and get closer to something. On an industrial machine, that could be slightly more challenging. So a good trick or rule of thumb to keep you really close to your folded edge, within that 1/8 of an inch or less, sometimes as little as a 1/16 of an inch from that edge, but still keeping your stitch on that edge, is to use the fork of your presser foot. So your presser foot has 2 pieces of the feet and it has a gap in the middle. So if you lift up your presser foot and then you line up your folded edge with the inner edge of this presser foot instead of the outer edge. So if I were doing 1/4 of an inch, I could line it up with the outer edge. The inner edge goes here, like this. So if I keep my eye on this folded edge and the inner line of the presser foot, then my needle will go very close to my fold and give me a better and crisper edge stitch when I want to stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on the machine. I will back stitch like normal, and it's important to realize that you're stitching from the wrong side of the fabric when you're doing this. So this could be finishing a hem or a pocket edge like so. So that means that my top thread will be on the back side of the fabric, and my bobbin thread is what's going to appear on the fashion side. So keep that in mind. Make sure that your bobbin thread is an appropriate color that you would want to see from the outside of your garment. So I'm just keeping my eye on this fold and watching the inner part of my presser foot to make sure that I'm staying on track here. And definitely in a case where we have a very small margin, our accuracy in maintaining that line really matters. And you can see that I've been able to get very close to my folded edge, and that helps keep this hem or pocket edge or whatever this may be from flipping up if I were to stitch too deep into this. So that's an edge stitch.